So this morning my son woke up almost in tears because he'd had a dream that my wife and I were going to get a divorce. I blame Mr. Rogers. Yesterday my daughter was watching an episode of Mr. Rogers that was all about divorce. I think he somehow saw it. I think it pulled some kind of a trigger in his brain, and his poor little genetic predisposition to nightmares kicked right in and said, Mom and Dad aren't going to make it. So in order to try and cheer him up, I told him all about my dream. I dreamed that I was in some kind of a fraternity, a college fraternity, except instead of being a regular fraternity, we were more of a dodgeball fraternity, which means that we just played dodgeball all the time around the frat house. It didn't matter where we were or what we were doing. It was dodgeball all the time. Well, there was this one time when I was getting out of the shower and in the dream, and somebody called me up and said, somebody from your old job is here. Somebody from the TV station is here to talk to you. And I thought, well, that's weird. Why would they hunt me down? But I went to see what it was all about. And it turns out that there was not just one, but two people from my old job who had also been in the dodgeball fraternity. And they were there to check up on the legacy they had left behind to see if I was treating it right. So they started looking around, looking for every flaw, everything that was out of place, anything they could come up with to try and kill our dodgeball fraternity and somehow run it into the ground, or at least get rid of all of us so they could put their own people in. They would do. They started moving things out of place, they started messing with the walls, they did everything they could, but in the end, I had gone off to class because it was a college dream. By the time I came back, I was on this train. It was a little teeny skinny train that was driving over a body of water, kind of bouncing up and down as it went. And eventually, I got back to the frat house where there were rows and rows and rows of people who were applauding my return, because not only had we done the dodgeball fraternity legacy, not only had we done good for the dodgeball fraternity legacy, but people were so happy to have us there, so happy that the legacy was in our hands, that they applauded us into the house and they shoved the others right out of the way. It was awesome. I didn't tell my son that much of it because eventually he started smiling and cheered up. But if you like this wolf that I've shucked, or want to shuck one of your own, you can do so in the comments. And otherwise, I would love it if you would subscribe. Thanks!